Hello and welcome to DC Figures and Collectibles. My name is Tyler G of Batman Figs on Instagram, as well as TAS Figs on YouTube. And I am joined, as always, by my co-host all the way from Stoke, England, who you can find on Instagram at the.batfan. Scott, how you doing?
Hello, Tyler. Yes, doing good, thank you. Yeah, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm excited. We got a lot of stuff to talk about and cover.
Yes, we're back. We're back as a pre-show, and yeah, got loads to cover today. Like, there's literally so much has happened in the space of a week. It's
we even had
it's crazy.
Breaking stuff this morning. Yes,
we did.
Which I know that you're excited to talk about. I want to hear what you kind of teased it to me. I'm excited already to hear what your thoughts are. The new multiverse McFarlane stuff.
Yes. Yeah. Strange.
No, Professor Strange or Hugo Strange. Sadly. It's strange. Cool. I would love that. We need a new one.
A new Hugo Strange would go down very well. Yes.
Maybe even animated. Why not?
Oh yeah, that'd be a fantastic figure.
That's what I'm also super interested in seeing, and hopefully we get a leak soon. Are we going to see any more animated stuff from McFarlane? That's all I really care about at this point.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
First, talking about animated. This is your shot from where we left off last time we had a pre-show.
Yes.
And I gotta say, you've done a lot of shots, and this is just I went back and looked at this multiple times just because everything about it is perfection. And even though it seems simple, it's just perfectly set up. I even love the pictures, just perfect of the episode where he looks on the back and sees like the Matt Thorne. He's like, who's that? Just.
Well, I can actually get away with that for once, because often when I do pictures of figures looking at newspapers, you can't always have the back, so the front bit on the back, if that makes sense. It looks like they're looking at a newspaper, but the headline's on the back as they're looking at it. But I could get away with it for that one, because it is actually a part of the episode. I can only apologise for the cutting out of it. I'm left-handed and I just use right-handed scissors, so it didn't go down particularly well, but... yeah, I mean, as soon as that episode was rewatching it, I was like, I'm going to have to do that picture. It's either that or nothing else, because
it's hard to do that.
I'm telling you, because you've done this episode many times, something you've rerun through.
Stinks.
Yeah, it's a difficult one. I can understand.
That's why I'm so impressed by this picture, because I know how difficult it is, and you captured it perfectly and everything about it. You got to show off the perfect picture of the family, and. My question, too, is right here, you can see some lines. Is that shading or is that custom by you? Is that from the light, just like right here on the belt? Because that's not on the belt.
No,
it's just the way the light captured
the arm, the arm sort of stops half the light. If you can see on the highlight on his arm, the light hits directly onto that and it blocks the light from the back. So,
that's pretty good if you added that. It looks pretty good.
Cheers, that's really kind. To be fair, I don't even notice these things myself, because the only thing I ever do with animated pictures is just make sure the whites in the eyes are lit, and make sure that you don't drown the rest of the figure out in light and don't have too many highlight spots on it. That's the only thing I ever try to do with animated lighting, just try and keep it fairly simple.
See, with you, you're one of the few people that I actually observe the picture very closely, because you always put Easter eggs. So it's always always fun to look around. That's even really here, Leslie's apartment, showing where it takes place.
It's just really annoying. Sometimes when you put the details of where the location is, sometimes they wipe themselves off after a while, which is deeply annoying.
They do?
Yeah, it's like I've done some pictures before, and it just takes the location off for some reason. I don't know why.
Bizarre.
Yeah.
Well, this picture is extremely atmospheric, and I wanted to see if it's because you sprayed atmosphere aerosol or also just the way the weather was.
I did use aerosol, yeah. It's not enormously noticeable, but the main mist is just natural morning mist. I did this picture on the same day that I did the picture of the Batman Begins kit
that you posted it today.
Posted one today, and I did one a few weeks ago as well for a theme with Lewis. So yeah, of At the Back Collected. But yeah, I used that location for quite a few other shots, and including a picture I'm doing this weekend.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, don't worry, everyone. I'm not going out and doing toy photography. We're supposed to be indoors, definitely not.
And we're talking about a photo that was taken on April 13th. For those that are listening on the podcast and want to have a reference to look back, and the previous one was on April 11th. The one that I was gushing over, that was for our episode drop.
Yes,
but this one also, I feel like you could not only is it cool to see a bearded Superman, but I feel like you could replace this and put like a Lord of the Rings figure in, and just the atmosphere and the way it looks very just like it to me.
Yeah, definitely. The location's amazing. It's from the Roaches. That is, amazing.
Oh, that's April 13th. My bad for the other picture.
Fair, yes. I did love that Superman. He's my second favorite ever Superman figure. He was just so cool.
And then this one, I saw a lot of great reactions in the comments with this, and you don't often shoot this one.
No, actually, the Batman Who Laughs is strange because this is from April 14, just for people's reference. But this is such a difficult figure to photograph. I don't know why. I've not read the comic, I'll be honest. I just quite like the idea of the character. It's one of them where at the time you think, oh, he's super cool, I'm going to get him. Then I had him and I was like, I have no idea what to do with this guy. So I just kind of make up my own story with this one. I have taken another picture since of Batman Who Laughs, which I'll upload soon. But this was difficult because I didn't know how to frame it properly. I didn't know whether to go for a wide portrait shot or to go for more of a landscape thing. So I eventually, I was here and all there with it. It was a bit difficult to frame, but use a bit of atmosphere aerosol just to create that light ray a little bit. And Red Hood is so cool, and I had to take a picture of him. I always neglect Red Hood. And I thought it'd be a cool idea to just have him fight Batman Who Laughs. I think he'd be best positioned in the Bat family to take him on.
That's what I was just about to say, actually. That's like you took the words from my mouth. That's all the people that you'd want to see fight that would be able to actually give him a run for his money, that would probably be fearful, would be the Red Hood.
Yeah, you're just fighting fire with fire.
As I just mentioned, looking around, you see a great accessory from the Mezco Superman from Batman vs. Superman with the Gotham sewer crate. And also you get to show off how humongous your diorama is from the low angle. It is a pretty big dio. I've got it here for the listeners. It's just to give you an idea, compared to my head, it's huge. And extremely wide too. It is, yeah. It's very tall, but it's a really cool dio. It's a work of art. Sturdy as hell. Like some of the polystyrene or whatever it is material can be really flimsy, but that one's solid as a rock. Then we go from a fan favorite to something that you kind of tease for a little bit. Well, and I you finally got him, and you finally took a photo. I'm really annoyed because I didn't bring him down before we've done the podcast, but everyone's seen Gordon. This is from April 14th for the listeners. Yes, indeed. And I have to apologise for the shot. It's boring and it's not very inspiring, but it's just obligatory. But he's a great figure. I'm not going to bring him down and go through it. Everyone knows by now. Everyone knows about the Mezco Gordon. But I finally decided to get on that bandwagon. He's a great figure. He really is. Incredibly versatile. It's not like you can only use him with, I don't know, the Sovereign Knight Batman. He fits well with the Ben Affleck one and all that. So show off that versatility in another shot. Where is it? Where you put a different jacket on. And for our listeners that want to see the different, this was 2 days ago, so that'd be 420 for all you smokers. You could go check out Gordon in a different jacket. This shot it's like extremely inventive. Just again showing it's always enjoyable to see the scenarios you come up with, the things that would be enjoyable to see, and you have this rare, freaking downloadable content Batman suit that no one has ever heard of until you got it, and more people started getting it. Then you mix the Gordon showing out the versatility with the Mezco jacket, and then you got the Diamond Select cop in the back. I really enjoy this one a lot. He's one of the most underrated figures I got. That cop is from one of the Terminator movies, but he's brilliant. He's just a cool background figure, and he's the same scale as the Arkham line. But these two look pretty good together. They fit quite well because they're both soft goods. So
They work quite well together. That jacket that he's wearing is from GP Slots. You can go and check him out on eBay, or head over to his Instagram page. And it fits perfectly on Gordon. And
that's a younger portrait of his head.
It is, yes, yeah.
Now, which one do you favor?
Do you know what? I probably prefer the younger one. The older one is fairly underwhelming. It's the exact same, apart from a few more sort of wrinkles, and then the hair colour's a slightly darker grey. That's a little bit disappointing thing with this Gordon. They should have done two completely different head sculpts rather than a bit of repaint and a few lines on it, which is pretty disappointing. But I mean, that's the only thing I would pick out with Gordon. The rest of it is perfect, and the bat signal's amazing. Like, it's so bright and so vivid. It's great, but they could have done a little bit more to differentiate the head sculpts. That'd be the only complaint I have. But other than that, I think it's an amazing figure.
That's actually a good point. Imagine how cool it would have been instead of like just those two head sculpts. They did like a version that was red hair. It was from more like year one.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great idea. Yeah, to go for the Capullo look. That'd be a brilliant idea if they did something like that, and then a really sort of old looking, almost like animated series style Gordon with the grey hair and the tash. And it'd look really cool, that would, if they did something like that. I'd love to see someone have a go at a custom Gordon head. Would love to see someone do that. I've seen all these like Sovereign Nighthead customs that people do, and Dark Knight Returns customs and all that. I'd love to see someone have a go at a Commissioner Gordon head sculpts for it.
Now, where did you get that torch that he's holding?
That is Nick's from the Long Halloween Gordon. It works pretty decently with it. I mean, on this picture, I couldn't work out how to get to light up. I wanted to get the torch to look like it's lit because it looks pretty crap without it, but I couldn't do it because I use atmosphere aerosol in the background, and if I put a light directly on the front of it, it just drowns it out. So it didn't work on that one, but I have got another picture that I did with Ben Affleck Batman, and it worked a little bit better on that one, so I'm going to upload that soon, and you'll see it a little bit better, hopefully.
I do think that we're going to see a lot of cool shots from you with that Gordon, because already the creativity's been good with just the first three.
I just want to do something different with him and not just bat signal pictures all the time, to be honest. So
I can't even try to go past this one. This one's immaculate.
Nice one. That was good fun doing the lighting on that one. The extreme sets are so cool for just bouncing light off.
And this is April 19th for our listeners.
Yes. So I used the Extreme Set Control Center, I think it's called, or Command Center or something like that. Just put the aperture really, really, really low and just blur the background so much easier with the Extreme Sets as well. So yeah, I love the Justice League Beyond team. It's a shame we didn't get a Green Lantern, but all the rest of the cast is there, which is great. I thought actually Barda's not there, but
you get Green Lantern DNA.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
And that Static Shock is immaculate. It's so cool.
Yeah, we get the voice of Green Lantern anyway. So,
and also, I really enjoy the color choices you do here with the pink light going with the blue and the orange. This looks really cool. You don't see it often.
I appreciate that. I did two versions of it. I did this. It's like a purpley blue. It's like purple one side and then blue the other. And I did another version where it was blue both sides, and it didn't look as good. So I went for this one because the light shines the red. Can you see the two red lines on Warhawk? They get lit up with this red lighting better than the blue. So I went for the red light, the purple light, I should say.
And anytime you could see any version of that Bruce Wayne, it's always a treat.
Yeah, he's
they don't
awesome.
Get made.
I nearly didn't put him in the picture. I nearly just had. I was going to put. So like from the middle there, I was going to put Micron onto the left hand side, but I went for Bruce instead. Put Micron at the front.
And this little guy doesn't get enough love as well.
Yeah,
that's Micron.
Yeah, that's Micron. He's awesome. He's as you'll know, he's from the metallic.
I always just thought of him as future Adam or something. I didn't even know.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's got like the Atom Smasher and the Atom's powers combined in one, which is pretty awesome.
And this I've been waiting to see, and you finally delivered it. The rare golden Keaton.
I had this picture for so long, so this is
from 420.
Yeah, 420. He's an awesome figure and a lot more posable than the original NECA one.
Really?
Notice that straight away. Well, not more posable, but you can have a little bit more confidence to pose him.
You're not in dread.
That's it. Yeah, I mean, I with the 89 one, I dread moving him sometimes, especially around the chest and arms. His legs aren't too bad because I've kind of slowly broke them in a little bit now, but his arms and his chest I never have much confidence in. But this guy, straight from out the box, was pretty posable and didn't have to use heat on him, which isn't good. I just wish they had a better cape than the stock one, but this will do for now.
This is what I imagine his free suit would look like in Batman and Robin if Burton would have kept going.
Yeah, it'd be fantastic. Yeah, so this is the Loot Crate exclusive as well.
And I gotta show this off because it's so rare that you ever see an Amanda Waller figure. This is from 4 days ago on the 18th.
Yes.
And it just, if you went online to go look at this or on Instagram, you can see there's a lot of comments because it's just so cool to see this setup. Yeah, Only Scott.
It's part of the Justice League weekend that I did with Lewis about the Bat Collector, and had to put this in there. I think it's obligatory to photograph this figure if you have it, because it's just such an amazing set. So you get General Eiling in there as well with Amanda Waller and Batman. So it's an amazing set of figures, and
the Cadmus story.
Honestly, I maintain that the Cadmus storyline is the best DC storyline ever written. I think it's amazing. You've got political worldwide drama. It's just amazing. Like the writing's just fantastic, and the Lex Luthor element as well, how it spins off into season 2, it's perfect, absolutely perfect.
And I maintain that the most underrated accessory that really just ties this all together is this plant.
The Playmobil plant.
It makes it feel so office-like, even with all this stuff.
Originally, I did the picture without the safe and without the plant, and it just looked boring.
What?
So I added those two in at the last minute and just did another picture. I was like, I'm just going to keep those in.
It perfectly frames the thing.
Cheers.
So it was a great touch. And then this one, you even got it to where the just the way it looks really looks like one of the early BTAS episodes, but without any loss in quality of the image, if that makes sense, or it doesn't look grainy. So this Cheers. I absolutely love.
Thank you. The only thing that I was a bit annoyed about is I made Ivy's hair look dark brown rather than, ginger.
It looks all right. So, just dark.
Blame DC Direct for that. But
we don't mind that.
I'm so stubborn, I won't buy the new Ivy. I'm just too stubborn. But yeah, so anyway, this picture, I was very close to deleting this picture, to be fair. Didn't
on the
really,
21st?
Didn't really rate this picture very much. But I'm glad people enjoy it. It's good fun to set up.
For some reason, she's just one of my favorite characters out of BTAS, and I feel of all the episodes, I've seen more of her episodes. So anytime I see her, it's always a joy. And also, like I said, the way you captured it, where it does look like one of her early episodes, it's just all the better. What did you use for all those vines?
So I literally this is when I first started doing toy photography. Actually, one of the first few pictures I took was Batman tied up in these green. So I just got a rope and coloured it in with a Sharpie.
Dang, that's a lot of work.
I did, literally just
a lot of work.
Coloured it in with a Sharpie. It did take a while. It was good fun to do. Actually, no, it wasn't. I'm not gonna lie. It was monotonous, but yeah.
So it paid off.
Tied Batman up in that, and then put the bombshells, vines,
which is invaluable.
Honestly, I'm tempted to. If I can ever buy another one, I will buy another one.
It's right up there with her toxins that come with her first release TMBA.
It is, yeah. See, you've got like Scarecrow for the canisters. You've got Ivy for the
And the rose.
Chemical bottles and the poison ivy bombshells for that vine. But yes, she's a great figure as well, the ivy bombshells. I've got a picture coming up for her.
This one a lot of people were hyped up for too, and this was one day ago on the 21st of April 2020. And it is there are people even reminiscing about the first time they played this game, and I remember just getting chills, and you got the anxiety build up when you face Croc, and this is just really well done. You can't really say more than that.
Cheers. I just took as much light and as much colour out of it as I could possibly do, because that's just the Arkham Asylum game. To me, it's just a dark, very shadowy game, and especially when you go in the sewers, like I say, with fighting Croc, it's just such a mysterious, creepy part of the game. And it's just all I wanted to do with that, and just throw in as much crap as I possibly could into the picture. But I mean, the extreme sets are brilliant for throwing in accessories with, and I want to say thank you to Simon about Batman the Animated Fan for sending me the extreme sets. A magnificent piece.
Yeah, there's really not enough that could be said just how cool these colors are that you were able to get from this image of the blue, and that really is the perfect green and orange for Croc. And those teeth, I mean, you just don't see the figure enough, so just to see him is cool.
Yeah, I took the collar off him on this picture on purpose, just so I could open the mouth up a bit more with the teeth, because the collar stops his mouth from opening to a certain point, because obviously that it's quite a bulky piece around his neck. So it's quite heavy as well. The collar is a proper chain that's on it.
This we spoke about a little bit. Love the amount of dust in the back. Your Kit Bash, future Nightmare Christian Bale Batman. From today, mere hours ago.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's such a great figure, and I love how they make all the bits interchangeable on that. It's just brilliant. Medicom are just so awesome.
You've actually come up with some of the best custom versions of that Nightmare Batman. Your animated one is up there as well, so it's cool. That you should do a picture where you have all of them.
Hey, that'd be cool. Yeah, like a nightmare crossover.
Extreme Nightmare.
Might have to do that, actually. That's a good idea.
And this, can't say enough about the colors. Just the way the light is hitting the figures, it looks very realistic. And also, they're set up on the table. You even got the extra hat, so you know one of them's missing a hat.
Well, I was going to use the one with the missing hat, and it just, it was not going to be usable, because the way I cut that hat off was just terrible. Just hacking away at it with a saw, and it really does look bad, so I couldn't use that figure. So I just had two hats, and I just put a flower in it, just something different. But I bought that table with the crystal ball a while ago, and I've been waiting for this episode to use it. And I brought that table and the crystal ball, and I bought a JLU Clock King ready for the upcoming episode in a few weeks, so I was prepared for them for once.
Nice. I like that you even think and care about enough to plan. And then there's an invaluable accessory again that she comes with her poster.
The poster, it's obligatory. Joe was saying to you before we came on air, we've got the podcast episodic and figure review waves down to a T here, because you do the figure wave pictures and I do the episodic. It gives you a break from the episodes. I bet you get sick of doing episodic pictures.
Yeah, I do, except for I might have to do a Zatanna one, because Zatanna's just one of my favorite characters of all time.
She's awesome.
But also, you also have the Clarion the Witch Boy accessory, which is cool to see.
I couldn't think of another accessory to use, so I was like, well, I'll just go for that. It's based around magic, so I just whack
DCAU approved.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
And that's where we leave. And so, what do we have any idea what this weekend's theme is that you do with Lewis at the Bat Collector?
Yes, so after the Justice League weekend, I mean, that was one of my favourite weekends we've ever done, the Justice League weekend, but the next theme
one of the best photos that you did ever. Tons of likes. Now we got to show it.
Which one was that?
This one.
Yeah. The group shot.
Absolutely killer.
I mean, I couldn't resist doing a group shot. I had to do a group shot. That was from the 18 for that one, and I had to do it.
It's just absolutely outstanding. And so many people online shared it around. It went viral amongst the toy community.
No, cheers, thank you. It's really kind, and everyone knows that I'm not going to sit here and praise the Justice League again because people get sick of hearing it, but it's my favourite show ever, so it means a lot. And yeah, so we were talking about this episode of podcast. I mean, this is a fantastic shot. So much going on. This is from 2 hours ago, and we're recording today on the 22nd, so you can go and head over to Tyler's page and check that out. So we've got a mashup of different villains going on here with Scarecrow and Mad Hatter, and then a bit of Phantasm in there as well.
I like to think it's an in-between period.
Yes.
Half the villains are in transition of their new look.
So do you regard Phantasm as a villain or like Catwoman, where she's kind of in between?
That's tough to say because Catwoman doesn't murder people, and in theory, Andrea is like for hire because we have that episode in Epilogue where it shows Amanda Waller hired her as an assassin essentially. So
it's a good point.
We really don't know too much about her, and I would love if there was some way that we had more on her, but also of so many things and classics in life, it's one of the rare things that's probably been touched or going to be touched again. So who knows?
It would be interesting because it's Barbara who knows about the Phantasm, isn't it? And it was Amanda Waller who hired her. I mean, Amanda Waller can get a hold of anybody if she could. Yeah. Because she's just one of those people. She could probably
That's what she did.
Probably get a hold of JFK if she tried to. But it's like yeah. But so I would love to know how she gets in contact with her though, and how Andrea comes back. So there is more to be explored there. I would love to see more of Phantasm.
Hopefully that's in the comics that we get.
Did they put a bit more of Phantasm in the comics? They did, didn't they? I know they did in Batman Beyond, but I don't know about before.
I see. That's where my knowledge of it runs out. I only know that I have not read any of the comics from that. All I know is what we're reading now, with the adventures continue.
Because they did do like Batman adventures and stuff like that, didn't they? Like around sort of after Justice League with Nightwing and Batman and stuff like that. So
I know that storyline, but we might have to have Simon on again to ask.
Yeah, we need to get Simon back on, and probably we need to get us two, Simon and Kevin, on a podcast, and we can just
that would be
talk comics for hours. Well,
it might be a 4-hour podcast.
It could be, but yeah, I mean, going back to this picture, it's fantastic, and yes, this is the wave that we're going to be reviewing today. And
again, that Mad Hatter accessory, underrated. I feel bad myself that I don't take more pictures of it.
It is. It is a great accessory. So I've quite a few brilliant accessories in this. We've got the grid there from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle figures, and I love Nightwing's. It's not really a Batarang, is it? But I just love that. It looks so cool.
There's Birdarang, I guess.
Yeah, and Birdarang. Oh, I like that. That's good. That is good. I like that. But yeah, terrific picture, that one. There's so much detail in there and depth as well.
I can't wait to talk about it.
Speaking of talk, double talk. So that was a nice segue. But I watched this episode yesterday, and man, it's so good.
Isn't it creepy? That's when I watched it too, so we were probably watching it around the same time.
Yeah, oh man, it's so awesome, and yeah, just such a great episode. And I love how sort of understanding and sympathetic Bruce is in this episode. He has faith in Arnold, and it's Rhino and the other guy just they're such scumbags.
And to me, it also fits in with the thread of the rest of TMBA as well. When we see an old Wounds, where Nightwing explains, and he thinks that Bruce is a terrible person, and we see at the end that he's hired someone as a rehabilitation project. That very same person that Robin kind of hated, or was like, "Why are you doing this to him?" So it's cool to see. Yeah, he doesn't do that to just lowly thugs either. He's like he gave Arnold Wesker a job at Wayne Tech. Like, that's how much trust he has in him. And so Bruce is a nice guy, and I've seen it more often on people's posts, but we don't get to see the good natured side of Batman enough. We always usually see like he's just murdering people, or he's tortured, and that sort of thing. Yeah. So it is refreshing to see. And also it's cool seeing another dream sequence and those sort of things. It's usually like a Scarecrow thing or something like that. But it's nice to see a dream, what's going on in the ventriloquist's head a little, even though it's also freaky.
Yeah, because ultimately it is kind of an illness, really, isn't it? I suppose you could say.
Heck yeah, poor guy.
So it's great to see Bruce offering some sympathy and, like you said, not just beating the crap out of the guy.
What the mental illness.
We're going to be talking more McFarlane very soon, but
yes.
This picture from yesterday, 21st of April, brilliant shot of the McFarlane Toys animated Batman. However you love or hate this figure, I think if you take out the fact they're basing it on the animated series figure, just as an individual figure, I do love this one. It is brilliant. The articulation's good. I think it looks good, and yeah, it might not be accurate to the show, but I think as a Batman figure, it just looks brilliant.
Yeah, it's growing on me, and I have all the other Batman animated series figures, obviously, like we've already stated before. So to me, any chance I get to get anything kind of new for Batman animated series, it's nice because we can't really fully rely on DC Direct at this point. Yeah, and it also kind of looks like the new Batman Adventures in terms of build, so you could say it's a transitional Batman. And I also thoroughly enjoy the people that do hate it because the comments were kind of funny. It's like Todd's hubris. It looks like crap. I might have to start taking more pictures of it just to get the comments to laugh at.
You see people endlessly bashing McFarlane, but there's some very good, very, very good, and very, very bad stuff from McFarlane. So
at least he takes risk and release things.
Well, exactly. Yeah, that is true. That is actually true. Here we go. This is one from the last podcast with Let Go and Lego, and yeah, it's a great shot of the Red Hood.
I was looking forward. This is one of the rare times I've held on to a picture for a while because I've been looking forward to doing a Lego themed episode because we've had on a few great Lego photographers, and I have a few, and I know that you have some as well. So it's always fun to bust them out. And it's also cool to see there are a lot of people that enjoy Lego. Yeah,
that was from yesterday, 21st of April. That one's a great shot of the Red Hood falling into the abyss. Where is the picture? This is the one I was looking for. Cold Comfort. This is from 3 days ago, the 19th of April. Brilliant shot of Mr. Freeze in the spider legs. We were talking about this the other day on the previous podcast. This is just such a great figure and a fantastic shot to show it off.
Thank you. And I'd use the pink light on that one too, so we both had shots of Super Ray had some pink light.
That's brilliant. It's a good use of that bank set as well.
Thanks. Yeah, there's the only way I could get like sort of metallic freezer look that's in the episode, so I figured hopefully too many people don't know what those slots are supposed to be. But this one I wanted to do a lot of symbolism where you get to see his body in the background. He's he's trying to get to his wife at any cost, trying to keep out the bat, trying to keep other things away. So I just try to do something a little different, but also very much the essence of what there's a shot like that in the episode. So
yeah.
Also, you got to show off that Nora Winter, whatever it's called, snow globe.
$1,000 snow globe now.
If you want Renee and that, pay $1,000.
Yeah, it's a brilliant shot, that one. We're looking at the Bane picture as well. So this is inspired from the new comic, which we're definitely going to talk about later, but this is a fantastic shot. We've covered covered the opening sequence between us, which is great.
Yeah, I was going to say, I took the before and you took the after. Or you think Batman's done and you got him where he's he had it all along.
But how long did this take to balance? Because Bane is not fun to balance on his own, never mind with Batman on it.
Yeah, I actually was enjoying doing all the setup of the back stuff because I wasn't looking forward to doing this part. So it's like trying to put it off as long as possible. Oh, they could use more buildings. Yeah, more buildings. But he's arched really far back in this, so I had to take it at a weird angle just to make it look semi-normal and bouncing Batman. And he fell at least 3 or 4 times. So you can't say that we don't struggle for our art, even though it's little struggles.
No, brilliant shot that one is, and that's a good demonstration for DC Direct that the pivots on the ankles are not only useful but crucial in pictures like that. So,
yes, and they actually did give him the ankle pivot, which we actually talked about today, and we will be talking about the comic. I know the new one's out today. I don't know if you had a chance to read it as well.
I have read the new comic.
See, the way I read it, I don't get to read it until the next day because for some reason Google Comics doesn't have it up on the first day of release.
Oh, okay.
We can at least talk about the first two.
I see. So why is the new Deathstroke one out already?
I don't know. I just figured it should be out by today. I don't know if it is.
Oh, okay. Interesting. I'm going to have to check that out. I've got the first and second part.
Yeah, good. I do as well.
But they're awesome. I haven't seen the Deathstroke one yet, if that's out. But yeah, looking forward to that. But fantastic shot, that one. That's from the 18th, anyone listening, 18th of April. This picture I have to talk about. This is an absolutely phenomenal picture from 5 days ago, which by my maths is the 17th of April. Is of Ra's al Ghul and Bruce Wayne. I mean, the use of atmosphere aerosol here is perfect.
And I had to do it. I had to do it in weird different takes in order to make it look natural because that's the same figure just in different forms. It's photoshopped in there. I didn't use any Photoshop smoke, so the way I had to get it to blend was different.
Yeah, I can imagine that is tricky to be fair, but it looks brilliant.
I'm glad you like it. I mean, and with those soap studios, that's like probably the best way I could show off how detailed like the vest and everything are that come with it. So.
Yeah,
I absolutely love all the different ways you could use those figures, a 2-pack.
And those suits look so good in the soft goods style.
Yes.
Yeah,
they don't look too bulky.
This picture's phenomenal as well. This got a big response at the Trinity.
The Frank Miller cut.
The Frank Miller cut, yeah. From 6 days ago, the what am I looking here? 16th of April. Yes, the Miller Cup being released on Tyler's page. Fantastic shot of the Trinity. I love that Superman. I need to get him one day. So
you definitely do. You have the Batman to go with him.
Yeah,
for You're taking some great shots.
I need to get him one day. I mean, the background for this is perfect. What obviously you used fire for it, but where did you take this picture?
I took that in front of my fireplace downstairs.
Oh, and nice.
I had to give this a lot of depth, and so I brought them out a little bit further. And in order to hide the grate that it would easily give away that it's a fireplace, I had to build up some rock and stuff.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was
a great idea.
Those ones take a long time, but you only get a few chances, so it feels more intense doing stuff like that. It's a little bit like a race against time.
No, I feel like it's more satisfying as well when you come up with new ideas like that. It's brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, I think I can't overdo it too much because I do it here and there, but I tend to want to do it for more.
Yeah. No,
I also know that my roommate would probably dislike it if I keep doing too many fires in July or something like that.
That is a good point. That is a good point. In this picture as well with Mr. Freeze, with some real ice in there.
Real ice.
Yeah, it's just fantastic picture. This is from 15th. Fantastic shot.
And that's the OG one, not the new release.
Yes. Sometimes the old ways are the best, but I mean, it's just a terrific picture of all the ice there. How long did that take to set up?
Whenever I do something like that, I usually have to do it at night before. And in order to get that much ice, I'll fill up 3 or 4 different cups, and then with the ice maker, I'll just pour some water in there so it gets solid into a mass, and I can just dump it and break it out.
Yeah.
And again, that's kind of like a race against time in a way too, so it doesn't melt and he just starts slipping and you can't balance him at all.
No, it's brilliant. It's a great shot, Mr. Freeze. Yeah, it's fantastic. So we talked about I think why did we leave it on the last? Was it this picture that we left out? I think
we left around the 12.
So this shot here of Shazam talking to the Justice League. It's from the 13th of April. Absolutely terrific picture. I mean that whole moment in that episode is just so epic.
I don't know what it is, but it draws you in. You are focused. Captain Marvel gets your attention.
Yeah, he does. No, it's an absolutely phenomenal moment.
We talked about it a few podcasts ago, and I had to rewatch that whole episode. And, it was worth it. And I was telling you beforehand, I got to rewatch all of the Justice League again. But I have to get a DC Universe subscription.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a terrific moment, and in that fight with Superman in Lexor City is just unbelievable.
And it's also funny when they say the Justice League will pay for it, and you see Batman's face.
Yeah, more like Batman will pay for it. I'd love to know where all the money comes from, though, because obviously it doesn't come from the government, because the government have got their own Black Ops team, but it probably is Batman's bank balance, isn't it? It all comes from. I mean, it was originally, wasn't it, in the first series? So probably is in this one.
Maybe Diana will hawk some museum goods or something.
Brilliant. So I want to talk about this picture as well for Lockup, the episode with Lyle Bolt, is it?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Another OG character from BTAS.
Utterly brutal character. This is brilliant use of the ready sets that you have. Fantastic picture.
And this is going to be another episode I do not look forward to us covering because it's so hard to think of.
Yes.
Well, luckily now we have more of the villains from it, I guess. But.
Yeah. I mean, you can't even do a massive amount of side characters because the side characters are like Matt Hill and people like that. So
yeah,
it's difficult. But this is a terrific picture. It really does feel like the basement of like Arkham or something. It's great.
Thank goodness.
Yeah,
and for some reason, I forgot about it the last few times when I did this episode. I was like, why haven't I done this before?
That would make a brilliant Jason Todd beaten to death.
Oh. If only I could. I want to get the classic version of that, but it's way too much money.
Yeah, he looks brilliant. I've seen like, I was at seeing. I think it was Colt the Batman, and like Ahsoka has got those figures. They look so cool. With Jason Todd's head. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. I want to conclude with where we left off on the last episode, the last pitch you did for the figure reviews. This is terrific. From the 11th of April.
These are my favorite things to do now. When we cover the waves, try to think of a way to incorporate all the figures.
Yeah, these are fantastic figures, all of them. And yeah, we had very high praise for this wave.
And it was a fun episode to talk about. And
it was.
Just reminisce on. I could just still see myself buying all these guys.
Yeah.
Kind of upset at Penguin until I opened it. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, terrific shot that one to show them all off. But yeah, like your recent pictures of the New Adventures have properly got me into watching it again.
Nice.
Combined with the comic coming out, and you know, it's I love the artwork in the New Adventures, like with all the red sky and stuff like that. It just looks so cool.
Yeah, and that's another thing too. Is it's very exciting reading new comics, and especially while doing this and doing the New Batman Adventures. I feel it gives even more weight to those old episodes because, initially it might be a jarring look, but that's been our Batman from around '98 up till now. That's the look. Yeah. That's been the look longer technically than the original BTAS. So. Get used to it. Don't be upset. Yeah. Just enjoy it. Be happy we even get it. It's crazy.
Absolutely, yeah. It is brilliant. But yeah, I've been really enjoying the new comic and rewatching New Adventures. I rewatched Batman Vengeance as well again, which is brilliant.
Oh.
The video game. It's got such a good story. I remember playing it as a kid. Such a good story to it, even, aside from the gameplay, it's still brilliant. So, but yes, you told me that you just watched Cult of the Cat, or not Cult of the Cat. You Scratch My Back, right? Yes. Yeah.
And you also recently saw an episode that you and we were laughing about it, that the Catwoman episodes in the original were very sucky. So what did you think of You Scratch My Back in terms of just contrasting?
I think it's brilliant. I love how Catwoman thinks she's outsmarted Nightwing, and then he just outsmarts her straight back. That's what I love about that episode. And I'm not a massive fan of Catwoman because I think ultimately she's a criminal.
Yeah.
So I can't. But I do love how they play Catwoman in that episode. It is brilliant.
It's perfect Catwoman.
Yeah, it's the first proper chance we get to see of Nightwing as well, which is pretty cool. And I think it's a terrific episode. The whole designs in that New Adventures, I love the designs. That was what I can remember of Batman shows growing up. It was the New Adventures around that time. So yeah, it's awesome.
I also like how we as an audience even kind of lose faith in Nightwing once you realize that Catwoman's kind of tricked him, and then even Ben was like, "Nah, I had faith in him." Like, oh, how dare I even go against him?
It is great, isn't it, to see Nightwing upstage Catwoman near the end. But yeah, great episode, and really enjoying your pictures for the run through of it.
Now we can finally talk about the new comic with full spoilers, because we've given it even a week from the last. So if you're not reading it, we're sorry. You could skip this, but we're talking about it. All right. So far, what do you talk to me? What are you enjoying? What do you like?
I think it was a very, very good first story. I think the whole idea of using, so basically the robot, as it turns out, it was Superman inside the suit being used as a battery. I think that's a fascinating idea, because ultimately Superman is the ultimate battery, isn't he? Really, that the super strength he's got and everything. So,
solar powered.
Yeah, and Luthor is a genius, so he's going to be the one to figure out how to use it, if anyone. But I think it's a fantastic idea. I like the Brainiac idea. I mean, that kind of fits into the continuity, because when Lex got hit by Brainiac at LexCorp, that's when it beamed into the into Lex's system. So it's natural that you go after a Brainiac product, because Brainiac at that point is slowly influencing Lex's actions through to JLU. So that fits in with that continuity, which is quite clever. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. I mean, the fact that we got to see that armor suit is great.
How cool is that? And it flies.
Yeah, it is very cool. It feels like a little bit shoehorned, because I don't think it was maybe designed for that in the first place, but they managed to fit it in quite well. So I think they did a good job with that. And yes, fantastic. Really enjoyed it. And, I love seeing Superman and Batman together. It's great seeing them two work together. Loved it, like all the episodes like Nighttime and Demon Reborn, and then the Batman and Superman movie.
World's Fine.
Yeah, World's Finest. Yeah, it's brilliant. It really is. To see those two just working together. I love Justice League, but I love it when they work together. It's great. Their relationship
Superman
is
just
brilliant.
Costume all ripped.
Yeah, brilliant. Absolutely terrific. And to see Lex get taken down was great. But good fun.
It does make sense that they would just eventually, after all their failings and just trying to control his mind and seeing that like they have overcome that, it's like, all right, we'll just make him a battery. We'll just use a robot as a controller. So that even makes sense in and of itself, because at least they're not just trying to do the same thing over and over. Like, we'll just control his brain.
Yeah.
Something like that, or an enchantment.
It's brilliant. I
enjoy that. And I also enjoy that when we read the first comic, that was like a one little thing, one panel maybe that they talked about. It's like, oh, it didn't have a battery. I wonder what that was. But then we got back to the story, and then it pays off in the next comic, and it's not something that's just lost, because a lot of times in comics, especially Marvel comics, they'll do something and then they'll completely change, and everything will be thrown out. So again, it's nice to have quality writers, especially Dini, and it's nice to see that anything that's going to happen in the comic is going to be thrown away. That's all meant for something. So at least it's not just a waste of our time as a reader, and a waste of our money if you're buying the comic book as well. Yeah. So I'm really enjoying it, and I can't wait for this next one, especially with all the hints and teases of all the upcoming characters.
And like the Jason Todd bit at the end as well was great, wasn't it? It was really, really good. Deathstroke coming to Gotham next. That's going to be a brilliant comic. Really looking forward to that.
It's going to be cool to see. I mean, we've said it before, but it's going to be cool to see how they make this part of the animated universe. It's the best part.
Absolutely, yeah. But top mark so far for that first couple of issues. I think it's gone very well. But slowly moving over to the figure side of things, we were supposed to be getting, I think it's Batman Harley of the repaints, and then we're getting the Red Hood and Azrael next. So do you think we're going to get them in May, or do you think they'll be delayed?
I don't know, but I wish they would let us know soon. Give us some kind of, because I know that you can pre-order them, but are we going to pre-order them, and then are they going to be just delayed until who knows when?
Yeah.
that sort of thing, or
Yeah.
should we pre-order them and try to get them as quick as possible because there's going to be no figures after this? What for a while? That'd be nice to know something.
It's difficult, isn't it? I mean, the manufacturers are still getting figures out there. I know McFarlane certainly are. So it's DC Direct, though, isn't it? You never know what they're going to do. I mean, figures aren't the priority right now, but it would be sort of nice to know what's going to happen with them. But I've pre-ordered them anyway from Comics and Cocktails, fantastic website.
Right.
But yeah, so hopefully we get them soon. But yes, so moving on
McFarlane
to
figures,
other figure releases. So we've seen quite a lot of people now are getting the golden armor and regular suit of Wonder Woman.
Really, I haven't seen anyone post any pictures.
Now, what do you think of them?
I haven't seen any pictures of them.
Oh,
I haven't seen that people have even had them. They're out.
Really? Right, okay, yeah. So a few people that I've seen have got them around Instagram, and gotta say, the Golden Armor Wonder Woman is good, but she is tall, and like, she's the same height as the Armored Superman, and they've really gone too tall. Like, she's far too tall, like, to the point where it just looks stupid.
So, question. Are you going to wait and see if Mayfex or Figure Arts does one?
Unfortunately, I've already pre-ordered and paid for her, so I've got no choice but to get her now. But she looks great, but the scale is very bad. I'm not going to lie. But it looks a good figure apart from that. But the regular Wonder Woman in the normal costume is one of the worst figures I've ever seen.
Shoot, I may need to go to Target after this.
It's so bad. Like, honestly, the head sculpt is terrible. She's far too tall. Like, I'd say she's the same height as the Armored Superman, and it just looks like embarrassingly bad. They need to sort out that, because they had the Green Lantern problem in the first wave, which was willing to forgive them for. It's the first wave, but I mean, this is pretty. When you see the pictures, you'll realise how stupid it looks. But
I can't wait now. I can't believe I haven't seen them.
She doesn't look great. The normal Wonder Woman, the Armor one looks good, but like I say, it's just a bit too tall. There's also been
very interesting.
There's also been a few leaks here. Now you can head over to Toy Snap's story to see this. I know you'll see it, Tyler. So we saw like a Dawnbreaker Green Lantern. There's what's the other one as well? The
got a Doomsday Batman.
Doomsday Batman, yes.
Flash.
Yes, the Flash Batman, and then there's the Grim Knight Batman as well, isn't there?
Yeah, who looks like he has tons of stuff on him.
Yeah.
Like his face is buried.
But yeah, they look really good. I'm going to try and get a picture up if I can. But yeah, they look fantastic, and I think they've got some really cool ideas coming up, McFarlane. I just hope they sort out and iron out 1 or 2 issues with scale and stuff like that. Hopefully they can sort that stuff out. I mean, naturally it's going to happen over time, but hopefully they can sort that. I'm really looking forward to the Arkham Wave. I'm going to get those sorted this week and pre-order them.
Did the Golden Wonder Woman, in terms of her face, did it look good at least?
No, it was terrible. The Golden Wonder Woman. The Golden Wonder Woman was good. It wasn't great. It's good.
Okay.
But the other Wonder Woman is just shocking. I'll be honest. There's nothing good you can say about that figure. It's really, really bad.
I can't wait to go hunting now. I'm going.
Yeah, it doesn't look good, if I'm honest.
It sparks my motivation.
Managed to find some pictures for people.
Sorry to the listeners. You'll have to come back.
I want to make sure that the quality is decent first before showing them. If I would show it anyway. Here we go.
I'm interested also to see how many people will keep this line going since it's so comic specific, or if they're going to sell.
So that's the Grim Knight.
I think that one will sell well. The Grim Knight.
This is all of them together. I mean, you can't really see much on this picture because the quality's not great. But we've got the Dawnbreaker down here. He looks awesome.
Crimson Knight.
Yes, he looks phenomenal. I don't know what this figure is here at the bottom right.
It looks like it might be Darkseid Batman.
Yeah, perhaps.
That could be wrong.
Oh, in fact, yeah, I think that might be the Batman. You know, he gets all like infinite knowledge and everything, and he turns into a god. I think that might be the
that'd
figure.
be cool.
I think that might actually be the figure for that.
The Doomsday one looks pretty bulky.
It's that one there.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, it's the Murder Machine Batman. Of course it is.
Murder Machine.
Should have known that. That's terrible knowledge from me. Yeah, the Murder Machine Batman. Shit.
It's just extreme close-up, so it looks huge.
Yeah, it is big close-up. I did see a better picture of the Dawnbreaker Batman somewhere. Here it is.
I might have to get that just because it's so cool looking, like, and different.
Yeah, it looks awesome, doesn't it? Very, very.
Plus, you'll get a good accessory for your Green Lantern.
Yeah, absolutely. But really, really looking forward to these two coming out. I can't wait for those.
Are you dreading now, hoping that the scale is going to be correct?
A little bit, but I mean, even if it's not 100%, they should fit in with the rest of the Arkham line anyway. It shouldn't be too bad. But I'm really looking forward to that Batman, especially because I really want to see what the articulation's like, because it's very noticeable how bad the articulation is on the DC Direct ones, which is understandable because they look great. But I'm looking forward to seeing that.
That Joker's showing off that toe articulation.
Yes, true. Oh yeah, true. No, it looks great, that one. I might swap the head on that and put the DC Direct head on it or something.
Oh, but the ultimate
it looks
Joker.
good. It looks really good, that one.
I'll get those ones. I'm just now worried about the Wonder Woman. And I think that will be their only downfall is going to be scale, because that's most people's biggest pet peeve.
Yeah, I mean, but listen, I think they're good figures, but I say the scale is just strange. I think it's fairly unforgivable that they can do something like that so wrong. Because,
especially if the detail's not there, because usually they only scale bigger because they want to do more detail.
Yeah, true.
That's the bigger. But so if the detail's not there and it's just all over the place, that's really weird.
Yeah,
the first few waves have been okay.
Yeah, I mean the Golden Armor one I think is good, but the other one is just so bad. Like, it's to the point where it's just so embarrassing.
Now I'm dreading.
It looks terrible. But
I feel like I'm missing it as I speak. Their scalpers taking it off the shelves right now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna try and get a picture up just to show people that are watching on YouTube. Here's the best example I can give of scale. Just look at how.
Zay!
So this is from Ahsoka the Geek. So you can see the scale.
Extremely Amazonian.
She is tall, very, very tall. It's not good. I mean, look at this Wonder Woman. She's huge. It's the biggest figure I've ever seen. It looks terrible.
Look at that hair, a little pompadour. That 80s hair.
It's awful, man. I mean, here we go. This is the one. Look at this. Look how tall she is. She's massive.
She dwarfs Batman, and that's a huge figure. It makes it look like a tiny figure.
Honestly, she looks like a really tall bloke in drag. Stood next to Batman and Superman. It's so bad.
That is incredible. I never thought of any figure would make those two look small. It's Wonder Woman.
If we're looking at against the original DC Direct Wonder Woman, which
you have,
it's yes, and I mean, look how she's massive. That Wonder Woman is. I mean, she looks great, but
does look great, and I will have to have it just because it's a gold Wonder Woman and it's Alex Ross, but still.
So you got some Beast Kingdom figures just to add some gravity to the scale of this. Look at that; they scale perfectly. Now, Beast
that
Kingdom
is
a
incredible.
9-inch scale.
See, I might have to just do that for an upgrade for articulation.
That's not a bad idea, is it? Yeah, you can take that horrible head sculpt off and put the Beast Kingdom head sculpt.
I can do what you're doing with the Arkham line. I can swap it.
That's not a bad idea, actually. Maybe there is hope from McFarlane after.
There's hope.
Collaborate with Beast Kingdom. Maybe there's hope there. But yes, terrific looking.
Let's see that portrait of the shiny one.
Terrific looking figure.
Okay. He made the wings look really nice there.
And the head sculpt doesn't look
She's
too
blushing.
bad.
She's embarrassed.
See,
that's too much blush. Why does she have too much blush?
Yeah.
Luckily, everyone won't be looking at the face because of the gold armor.
She's embarrassed to be next to that horrible other version.
Dope. The wings look incredible.
But yeah, it's a good looking figure, that golden armor one. It's just for some reason the scale's off. I can't believe how tall that other Wonder Woman is. It's crazy.
Those are some great references. If you guys are listening, you should either go check out Ahsoka's page or go watch this. It is hilarious to see the difference.
It's so stupid. It really is. But yes, in terms of new stuff, I think that's probably it. I mean, there's not a lot of news to talk about.
Decent for what we're doing right now with COVID and everything.
Yeah, pretty much so.
Nice. But in terms of the new episode that we are covering and reviewing this week, it's one of my personal favorites, and we kind of talked about it a little bit, and we showed Scott's fantastic picture that he already did to let everyone know that we're doing this episode today. It's Zatanna.
Yes.
What do you think about this episode?
A great episode, and I really do enjoy this one. It's got a real meaning to it, I think, with the background story. We get to learn a little bit more about Bruce, and also the timeline of Bruce.
Yes.
Which is pretty cool. And another thing I picked up on in this is how good Conroy is at doing like a young man Bruce voice. Like it nails it perfectly.
That's a really good point. Probably gets overlooked. Yeah,
it's terrific. This one.
It's always one that I could watch over and over again, and I do feel like I see something new every time I do watch it. And when we start up, we get the beautiful title card, and then we get to see Bruce and Alfred are in attendance at a huge audience to see a magic show, and we see that the magician is Zatanna, and she's doing some basic tricks just to warm up the audience as she's doing an introduction of what her show is going to be about. And you can see that she's a very spunky and full of zest, and she's really good at entertaining. And then Alfred and Bruce talk amongst themselves, and Alfred asks him, when's the last time you saw her? And we get a nice flashback to what you already alluded to, a younger teenage Bruce and Zatanna. And Zatanna might be, who knows how young she is here. She might be like 13 or 14. But it shows her like she's watching Bruce and her father, who is Zatara, and Zatara is mentoring Bruce and teaching him all he knows about escape and illusion, and sort of like Ra's al Ghul from Batman Begins, like deception and all that theatricality. And we see that he puts Bruce through a test and times him to see how fast he can escape. And Zatanna's off watching him and rooting for him, and you can tell she kind of has a crush on him. And we see it, eventually Bruce does it, and Zatara does some funny expository dialogue. It's, I don't know why I'm teaching you this, even though you have no desire to be a magician. I'll just give you all my knowledge.
Yeah.
So that's kind of funny. But it's also cool seeing Zatara, because we also know in DC Comics he becomes Dr. Fate at one point. I really want that figure eventually. Hopefully we get a new one from McFarlane. But that's not 8 feet tall. But then we see Zatanna go and converse with Bruce after her father dismisses himself. And it's funny seeing that Bruce probably knows she has a crush on him, but he's so weird about people and affection that she has to literally put his arms around her as a hug and see, it's not so bad. Yeah. But of course she's also tricking him and puts him in a handcuff because she doesn't want him to leave, and says, if you're so good, you could escape. And she turns for a second, and Batman does his trademark disappearing act, like Gordon is very aware of. And then we get taken away from that really nice visual scene, but we also get, like what you alluded to, a good timeline piece from there.
It is, yeah, because he says I'm leaving for Japan tomorrow and stuff like that. So that's obviously when he will have probably met Yura Sensei and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. But I love that the part towards the end of that scene as well, where they take a card and look at your future, and it's a joke and it comes off. Brilliant, and that's so nice. Good.
If only he knows the foreshadowing.
Yeah, I mean, something that's randomly thought of as well. The episode "Be a Clown" when he gets put in a straitjacket, chained up upside down.
Oh yeah,
it's kind of like that, isn't it? Like in the
see, that's the new thing I just learned. Then
I mean, stuff like that is just brilliant. I mean, they probably did intend to do that, didn't they? Because they think of everything in these shows. But yeah, it's pretty cool.
If not, it's a crazy coincidence.
Yeah, which is pretty awesome. But yeah, As you know, Zatanna and John Smith, as his name is in that. His alias, yeah. Yeah, they have a good relationship, and you know, you can tell like Zatanna's really gutted about Bruce leaving or John leaving. But yes, so we then head over to Zatanna's show that she's currently doing in Gotham. Why you come to Gotham to do a show, I don't know, but she has. So a guy called Montague Kane comes in, and he's a sort of like magic skeptic, and he's an expert exposing magic. He comes to watch a trick where Zatanna opens the door to the Gotham Mint with 10 million quid sitting inside, and she can make it disappear, and which she does successfully, and then she tries to put it back, and the money disappears. It's completely gone, and you know, the police come in and arrest Zatanna. You know, Kane's there, like saying, "Oh, you know, the police would love to hear about this and all that." It's just the typical cliche villain speech. Yeah, the critic and the cliche villain stuff. And the police come in and arrest Zatanna and put her in the back of the police van. But little do they know,
doesn't get that in Vegas.
Yeah, it's a good line that is, isn't it? Yes, and Bruce and Alfred in the audience are saying, "Oh, you know, she's been set up," and Alfred's like, "Naturally," and all this, you know, Alfred typical sarcasm. But yes, Zatanna then heads over to the police station, and Batman decides to intervene at that point, which is pretty cool to see.
It's extremely rare. It's like, how many times does Batman go against the law? It has to be someone very important, and he has to have 100% faith that Zatanna was set up, which he does.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't see Batman interfere with like the sort of legal procedures very often, but it's you know, when he does, we know that he's been 100% serious about it, and I think ultimately, Gordon probably does as well.
Which that is in and of itself pretty cool. Like, Gordon's like, I guess he must have a reason. Yeah. And
even if Bullock disagrees.
Yeah, which I'm sure he does.
Every time, anyway.
And then it's Zatanna. She's kind of she thanks Batman, but then she's kind of also saying, "Well, now I'm a fugitive from the law, but thank you." Batman basically says, "You know, I know you're innocent, and we're gonna find a way to prove it." And so they go about going back to where the trick was taking place, and Batman actually is doing some detective work with Zatanna, and they're talking about how Batman knows the trick, and she's like, "Oh, I guess thanks for taking away the illusion." And they basically see that due to different clues, that someone must have known how they were doing the trick and must have done something in advance to make sure that they were taking advantage of this opportunity.
Yeah. And
so they're able to find out basically that it is Mr. Montague Kane, and they decide to go visit him at his mansion.
Yeah.
And there's two things that from this episode also that I always are weird, because you see this part where you clearly see that her magic is illusion and that sort of thing, but then later incarnations, she's very much like a witch or a magician.
Yeah, it's true, that is actually. Yeah,
so
it's true. There's a little bit of a difference in that, and like even in the later time we see her in the DCAU. In the JLU episode of this little piggy, like she does use proper magic in that, doesn't she? And you know, they go to a magic store and stuff like that to look for ways of.
Maybe she's still young.
Yeah. I think, you know, Zatanna's a really good character. She's a great person as well, and you know, I think when she says about her father passing, you know, you can see Bruce is like really kind of devastated about it, because he you know, he meant a lot to him. And again, that comes back to what you were saying, Neil. You know, Bruce really does care about his fellow men and his sort of allies and people that have trained him.
Yeah, and we're gonna see they both you could tell care a lot about each other, but you could also tell they probably have that character trait where it's hard for them to convey that, or you know, the pain keeps them away from people or that sort of thing. So he, like you said, he probably heard, the father died, and probably it was internal thing, man, I should have visited more, or that sort of thing. So
yeah,
it's his own character flaw as well.
Yeah,
that sucks. So then they're on their way to Kane's mansion,
Yes.
You could take over from here.
Yeah, so they go to Kane's mansion, and then they start heading inside, and then they start hearing Kane spouting off loads of crap about them, and they head into the main room, and they turn around, they find it's just a speaker. There's a dummy and a trap bin left, and they fall straight through the floor. I mean, that is the classic way of trapping someone, them falling through the floor. But
he even gets meta about it and points it out.
Yeah.
A little bit cliche, but effective.
Yeah. So, savor your fleeting triumph as I move to more comfortable surroundings, is what he says, isn't he? And very patronising voice. He's actually the same voice actor that does Ares in JLU as well. Interesting. Like, he's quite a good voice actor. It's got that really sort of
dramatic,
dramatic, posh, patronising tone to his voice. It's good casting of Montague Kane. So Batman manages to use a spike to jam the bottom of the wall. He climbs up it, manages to use another spike to prise open the door, and then they both just escape in time to get crushed. Zatanna's like, oh, we're never going to find him now. Where is he? And he's like, oh no, I think he left a clue. And there's like a picture of a big plane on the wall. So Batman and Zatanna head off to go and confront Kane on the massive jet.
Yes. And right there we see that Kane really could give a crap. He just sends his goons on him. Batman's just whooping him, holding his own. But Montague grabs Zatanna, and Batman, of course, has to surrender. He doesn't want anything happening to his friend.
Yeah.
And so they end up getting chained up, and they're getting close to the point where they're going to be thrown off the plane. And Batman grabs a length of webbing with his foot the last second, causing them to hang in midair. And Kane begins to cut the webbing with the sword that he remembered to bring on the plane just for the occasion. Who knows why he had a sword? Batman is able to use rope to lasso him with chains and pulls him out of the door, so he's hanging onto the net. And then his people start shooting guns while they're all hanging in the midair. And Kane's trying to get them to stop shooting at him.
I love his voice, like, stop shooting, stop!
As he's hanging in midair.
Yeah.
And Batman is you could go.
No, sorry, I was just going to say when they're originally cuffing Batman and Zatanna, he's like, take my glove, and he's like, trust me, Zatanna, and that's something that only John would have said to Zatanna. So it's that point she realizes who he is, and that's quite a nice moment.
Which is another thing that is talked about at the beginning of the episode, paying off.
Yeah.
Which that's and also we'll see it plays a big thing in the ending. And so eventually they're safe on the outside of the hole, and King gets it back into the chair, and he's almost successful. He's trying to shake them off the plane. Kane sends thugs after them. Batman's able to get them, no problem. And then Kane is eventually apprehended on the ground.
Yes.
They're taken into custody.
Taken
after
away.
All that.
But we get some fantastic lines after that as well,
That ending.
Just like saying that you never wrote, and like, oh, I meant to. It's like, oh, it's okay. I can see that you've been busy, which I like about that, because people do kind of get lost in time. So especially Bruce, he has been a busy guy. And Zatanna's, humane and nice enough to appreciate that, and and she's like, oh, just tell me one thing, what made you do this? And he says the line, a painful memory and a promise, which is one of my favourite Batman quotes. I think it's brilliant. Absolutely fantastic quote.
Sums it up.
Yeah. And, he then returns the compliment, saying, Dad would have been proud of you and everything. So I think that's fantastic.
And how many times has there been an episode where usually right when the criminal is taken in, it just dun 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 dun, and it's over.
Yeah.
This is almost like it's an epilogue, and we get to see digest the event and talk. So it's nice.
Yeah.
We get to see the beautiful accessory that we got to see featured in your picture.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, the brilliant poster that appears after. It's fantastic ending to the episode. It really is.
But where she calls him John.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't forget to write.
Yeah.
thankfully we do get to see that she is in jail, like you also said. So Batman is probably the reason she got on the Justice League. So
it is a shame we don't see
off.
more. I mean, eventually she finds out that it's Bruce Wayne, because obviously she calls him Bruce in that future episode. But would have been cool to see how she finds that out. But yeah, I think it's a fantastic episode, and yeah,
I'm hoping we get to see her in the comics. I give this just for personal taste. I like the message. It could be an episode where they just go easy and just try to make it all magic and all that, but you see a lot of detective work from Batman with Zatanna helping her with him. You see, like you said earlier, there's a lot of timeline, there's a lot of foreshadowing with the Joker card, and we also see, I guess, the beginning of their relationship picked up after a long period of time, where it does eventually lead to her being on the Justice League. So there are a lot of DCAU threads interwoven in this as a whole, and it does add a whole lot of depth as to other episodes. It makes like Night of the Ninja even more a little bit cooler, because you know where he was from before. And so I give this a 9 out of 10. I also really I feel like Zatanna is like Bruce in a way, because she's been gone just as long, and she could be like over dramatic and be all over and hugging, but she kind of is off at a distance too, and it's like emotionally a little defensive, I guess.
Yeah.
So I feel like they're very similar.
It's a good breakdown and echo it completely.
What do you give it?
I'll go for an 8. I think it's a great episode, and it's got. I think Zatanna just makes the episode brilliant. Like, Montague Kane is a pretty crap villain,
but he is.
Like, Zatanna just makes the episode so good, and just finding out about Bruce's background and the beginning of the episode and the ending of the episode make it. They really do, especially the ending. It's fantastic.
It's also a rare episode where the focus isn't on a villain. It's usually a focus is on a villain with Batman has some stuff, or usually if it is all focused on Batman. So it's nice to get one that's a little bit more focused on someone else.
Yeah.
Even other than Rob.
But yeah, it's a terrific episode, and I think definitely deserves the high marks for it.
And it deserved that beautiful picture you took. That's what I'm most excited about. We got to see someone else take photos of it.
Well, underused Zatanna picture. Yeah, exactly. Underused Zatanna, so it was a good excuse. And a fantastic episode. Really enjoyed rewatching this one. It's been a while.
What is our next one?
Our next one is The Mechanic.
Ooh, that's always an interesting one to do.
Yes.
Speaking of,
trying to find a rubber duck.
Adding to the DCA animated universe, wondering where Batman gets his cars and vehicles from. It'll be fun to do that one.
A little bit more background info on Batman. But that's a pretty decent episode. I really enjoyed this one. That we've done one of my favourites from the series for sure.
Now, time for the Fig of the Week.
Yes.
What is your Figure of the Week?
So, Figure of the Week this week was...
you got some options.
It was a tricky one. I've taken a few pictures of her recently. I did a group shot with the Adventures Continue cast with Nightwing, Batman, and Robin, and it says the New Adventures Batgirl Figure of the Week. Been rewatching the New Adventures and all that, so I was really excited to announce her as the Figure of the Week. Yeah, New Adventures Batgirl. And I've got a picture of her coming up with a few other heroes for the female weekend with Lewis about the Bat Collector. So gonna go for New Adventures Batgirl. She looks awesome, and like the suit's fantastic. That's
fitting that I would do something that we talked about as well.
Yes.
Something that you made a great point about with our last guest. And after watching the episode, I had to give the TMBA Catwoman for our listeners, because like Zatanna, she's not used enough, but she brilliantly represents her animated episodes, and even the whip is pretty. It's nice. It's a thick whip.
It didn't go down well with people, but I really like the New Adventures Catwoman design. She's probably a little on the shorter side, but I think she's a great figure.
But at least she's not a giant Wonder Woman.
Indeed.
All right. Well,
we've actually got
anything else?
We've actually got some figures to review as well.
Oh yeah. How could I forget?
So we have a few new adventures and a few BTAS ones as well. So
Got a big wave.
We have got a big wave. So the next figure up for review is this guy, Nightwing. The New Adventures who is falling over. New Adventures Nightwing. Absolutely fantastic figure.
With a mullet.
With it. Yeah, with the New Adventures mullet. And the accessories we've sort of talked about earlier with the awesome
Birdarang.
Birdarang. The binoculars that he comes with as well. It's from the episode.
Which I lost. So hopefully you have them.
Indeed. From the episode we talked about earlier.
You scratch my back.
Yeah, it comes with multiple hands as well, which I'm not going to show you because that's incredibly boring. But yeah, so Nightwing's a great figure, isn't he? The only thing they didn't get right is the colour of the blue. The blue needs to be a lighter colour on his chest.
But thankfully, he's not smiling.
Yeah, genuinely is thankful for that because this figure was one of the defining moments in the collection when I was getting these, because at this point I'd got probably about 8 figures, and I got the Batman, and I think I'd got the Robin, and I hadn't got the Nightwing. I was like, well, if I get by the Nightwing here, that's it. I know I'm going to go all in and buy all the figures so far. So I remember buying him off Amazon for I think it was like 18 quid at the time or something like that. I was like, this is it now. This is it now. This is the start of the collection officially. But I'd always loved the Nightwing kind of figure as a kid, and love this figure a lot. And I do like how you just done that brilliantly. How you can put the binoculars up to his eyes and stuff like that.
Yeah, they did a great job.
Bend on his arms, perfect. It's not like with the Joker where they give you that telescope and you can't even look through it. So I like that they did that. But this figure, I'm going for a 9 out of 10. It would be a 10 if they got the correct colour. And I hope they do a re-release of this one with some new colours.
I'll go with you on that.
Yeah.
Because you can't really ask for more than this. This is exactly what the accessories you use in the episode. This is how he looks, other than the lighter blue.
Incredibly accurate.
I mean, if they did an expression pack, that might be better, but this is pretty solid.
I mean, he's incredibly accurate, and it's one of those figures where I haven't looked at him for so long, and pick him up and I'm looking at him, he's just so awesome. It really is. Yeah, what a figure. Outstanding.
Thankfully, I don't feel guilty because I've just taken some photos of him. So.
Outstanding figure.
I strongly welcome your guilt, though, if that means you'll take more photos.
This figure now, he's deeply annoying because he recently broke. His leg will fall off if I bend it, so I can bend this one. I can't bend his other one, though. I've managed to buy a replacement, though. It was only like 12 quid, so he's in the post. But New Adventures Bane, what a figure.
What a guy. Absolute he's humongous. Humongous and extremely articulated for how big he is.
Most may not agree with this, but I think this figure is so much better than the BTAS figure. I love the New Adventures figure. It looks so cool.
I mean, in terms of articulation, you're correct. You could do so much more with them and do so much more dynamic poses, which with Bane, that's what he would have to be doing.
Yeah.
He's an extreme athlete. He's a freaking assassin. He's on par with Batman, except for he's stronger, so he's got to be crazy movable. Yeah. So it is nice that you can do poses with him. And with that Nightwing, too, there's another figure that has the ankles that pivot.
Yes, absolutely.
A great amount of articulation at the time.
Yeah. And the hands for him are great as well. He's got multiple hands, like grabbing hands, open hands, fist hands.
Yeah, some cell shading before they start doing it again.
Yeah. Yeah, he's absolutely fantastic figure, this one. And I love this design. I think it's just because of Over the Edge. I really, really love this design and prefer it to the original animated series. But he's a great figure, this one. What do you rate Bane?
I give him an 8 out of 10 because I would have liked if they gave some kind of accessory other than just the hand.
True. Yeah. Yeah, that is true, actually. I'm happy to go with that 8 out of 10. I think he looks great, and he does actually stand up quite well, which is surprising for someone so big and chunky, which is fantastic. But like you said, the ankle pivots and stuff like that are great.
And if you love Batman animated series and you like Over the Edge, you kind of gotta have it, like you said.
Yeah, it's true. So next up we have Jervis Tetch.
Who you are infamous for about one of his accessories that he didn't come with.
So yes, the infamous torch that he didn't come with. It's just the one. I remember we talked about this a few episodes ago, where I cut a hole in the side.
Oh.
So by imagining that I could move his foot through it. The embarrassing thing is that is as much as his foot bends. That is it.
That is embarrassing.
It was just terrible. I mean, he looks pretty good. The head sculpt's not incredible. Like the original promo pictures look really good, and they made it look worse. But yes, the accessories are great.
Oh, I forgot about that act.
The accessories are great. So you got the axe and then the control for the maze.
Off with his head.
I coloured the sides end of his hands so that it's got the.
That looks a lot better.
I mean, that's so lazy for them not to do that.
It is, because look at just the difference. I haven't got it, and it doesn't look as good.
Yeah, it's so stupid, but he's a tricky one to stand up, isn't he, as well, I find this figure.
Especially with those weak ankles. There have been times where I had to putty his feet together just to get him stand.
Yeah, the ankles are shocking, aren't they? And the peg holes for the feet are just pointless because the peg hardly goes in them if you want to use those to stand him up. But he's not too bad. What do you rate this figure?
I rate it's because he looks so. I'd say a 7.5 because the ankles are rough, the articulation is limited. He does look exactly like him. They took away an accessory that got you excited to get him, so that's a bummer. But the accessories he does come with are nice, although very specific to his character in general. So you can only really use them for him. So I get a 7.5 out of 10.
Fair enough. Yeah, he's not too bad.
Even though it is one of my see, that's tough to even say. I feel bad because he's in some of my favorite episodes too. Sorry, Mad Hatter. You're a soulless little doll.
Brilliant. I'm going to be really harsh. I'm going to go for a 5 out of 10 because...
Oh, that's even harsher than me.
It's like
I thought I was harsh.
They took away the torch. They lazily didn't paint the side of the hands in.
True.
And they made the head sculpt look worse. And I'm sorry, but I know he's not an incredibly articulated character, but the articulation is truly awful. Like, even by their standards for this wave, it's not great at all. So I'm going to go for a 5 out of 10.
That's fair.
But, yeah. They shot themselves in the foot by not colouring the hands in and then taking an accessory away. I hate it when companies do that. I don't sound one of these politically correct idiots. Mezco, yeah. but when they claim they're doing something and then take it away, I'm furious with Mezco.
It's a straight lie.
They made that Batman 89 an exclusive for them, so everyone buys the exclusive, and then 2 months later, everyone else, like Big Bad Toy Store, Kapow Toys, they've all got it for pre-order now. That annoyed me. Anyway, that was a little bit of a tangent. But
it's great when you go on a tangent.
Next up is, I have to say, one of my all-time favourite animated figures. It is the Scarecrow. I mean, this is an outstanding figure.
And another over-the-edge must-have.
It is. I like the accessories he comes with are amazing as well. So you're showing off the canister there from Never Fear. You've got the gun to disperse it with as well.
Yeah, I lost that bad boy.
Which is, and then I absolutely love the cane he comes with. It's so cool. Stick.
I lost that bad boy.
But he comes with so many hands. I noticed the Scarecrow. Right? He's got loads of hands.
And they're like the Ra's al Ghul style, which we haven't even reviewed yet. But...
Oh, I do love that, yeah. They look so good, don't they? Like, the accuracy of it is so much better.
Smart. Very smart on their behalf.
It is, yeah. A very clever way of incorporating it. The only thing I don't like is you can't tilt his head up and down, really. But other than that, I don't think he can
Does have decent movement. Can't move at the waist. His ankles do pivot.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. And unlike Mad Hatter, he can do the splits almost.
Can make him do some walking poses and stuff, which is great. But, I mean, this figure is so good. One of my all-time favourites, let's say. What do you rate Scarecrow?
I would say this is a 9 out of 10. just because the accessories, like you said, and it's a perfect representation of the TMBA Scarecrow. He's in some very classic episodes. It's almost a must. And it is rare that a character is just as iconic on both sets.
Yeah.
BTAS and TMBA.
Yeah, that's true.
Just as many people would love that red shirt version of this guy.
Yes, that is true.
What is your assessment? You've been all over. This is a mystery.
I'm gonna go for 10 out of 10. 10. We should have like confetti coming down from the top.
We should. That's rare.
But honestly, I absolutely love this figure.
I'm gonna edit confetti dropping in when you say it. So 1 hour.
That'd be brilliant.
All right, I'm doing it.
It's like it's like one of my all-time favorite episodes as well from Never Fear. Although that is a great episode.
That's a good one.
Over the Edge.
Just did that one.
He is so cool. Absolutely love the Scarecrow figure. So yeah,
and he maniacally laughs after smacking Barbara Gordon off a roof while getting punched in the face. That's pretty creepy.
It is brutal, isn't it? And yeah, everything about that Scarecrow is just fantastic. I absolutely love the design. They didn't always get it right with the redesigns, but I think Scarecrow looked great. I think he really did. And they made that really creepy voice for him as well. Same guy who voiced Question in JLU.
That makes it even cooler then.
Which is, cool.
Dang, Scarecrow's cute.
So we've got 2 more releases to review. We have a lot of releases today, and the next one is probably one of the coolest releases you could possibly get, which is these guys.
Oh yes,
the Batasm release.
One of the all-time greatest Batman films.
Yeah, I mean Batman's great. I mean the head sculpt on him that's the angry version. This was before we had the expression pack as well, so I imagine how cool that would have been getting that head sculpt back in the day.
Yeah, this isn't the right head, but this actually is the figure from the release. That isn't broken.
Nice. I mean, this was the second ever figures that I brought, these 2, because I got Robin first and I got these 2.
Nice.
Got them for a really cheap deal. I think I only paid like 12.
It
must have been about 18 or something quid. It was really cheap.
That's crazy to even imagine.
But that Phantasm is so cool, isn't it? Oh, I should say.
There's only one reason I wouldn't give it a 10. And that's because I would want it to have the Andrea head, even though I know that's probably really hard or impossible. But other than that, it's almost sheer perfection.
It is, yeah.
No ankle pivot.
It is annoying that. I love what they've done with the cape, though. The cape looks awesome.
So much movement given to it, or the illusion.
It reminds me of the old Arkham capes that they used to do on the Arkham figures, where they used to sculpt it round and then move it out to the side. I think we talked about that a couple of podcasts ago. How they sculpt the capes like they used to in the DC Direct days, and they've done it with this one, which I really like. Because obviously the Batman one's good, but that's not particularly inspiring. But this one looks really cool. So, and
if they wanted to be full, they could have made it so you could remove the hook and had a hand underneath. I mean, that's another reason I wouldn't give it a complete 10, because I'm sure a lot of people didn't want to rebuy another Batman. Yeah. But I mean, that's the only reason. I do wish they would do an ultimate version.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
At least we got it.
An expression pack for the Phantasm, that'd be nice.
I could think of some really cool accessories too for that.
That would be awesome.
One of them would have to be that picture of Joker with her father.
Oh, that'd be a great accessory.
That would be so.
That would be a great accessory.
So what are you ranking?
I'm gonna go for a 9, I think. Yeah, just based on what you said with the lack of accessories. I mean, she does come with an alternate hand. Batman comes with a couple of alternate hands, but the lack of ankle pivot. I mean, this is the start of the downfall, isn't it? With the lack of ankle pivot.
I'm so glad you said that. I wanted to say that, but I didn't want to feel like I was a downer. But I do feel like this is the beginning of the point where they're trying to get a little cynical, where they're like, oh, they'll buy anything. Where they don't have pivots. Just throw it in a 2-pack. Don't worry, buy a Batman.
And obviously, we don't hear the conversations going on there, but I can imagine someone saying that, oh, they'll buy anything at this point. So.
I can't imagine.
Yeah. But yeah,
Fletcher.
I think 9 is a fair rating, isn't it? You go for a 9 as well.
Yeah. I would go for 10 because I love the movie, but they just didn't put in the effort like they did for other things. Like Mad Hatter has more stuff.
Yeah. And I'd give both of them a 9 as well because it's a Batman with a new head sculpt, isn't it, at the time? Batman with a new head sculpt, so it's pretty cool. But the final thing we have to talk about is a pretty big thing.
Humongous.
The Batmobile. Now, this is all I can fit in the screen. I can fit that bit. Oh, there we go. That's like the animated series intro right there.
That is the same thing.
That is almost the same pose.
Oh, it looks cool on camera when you turn it up.
Yeah, I mean the cockpit is phenomenal on this.
Your battery must be stronger.
The detail
My blue's
inside
not
there.
sure.
Well, it's nighttime outside, so that's probably helping me at this point. But yeah, the interior of the car looks great. The back of it looks fantastic.
It's a sexy beast.
It is. I mean, it really is fantastic. I can remember getting this from, I think it's a place called Bargain Max, a website in the UK. I got it for 25 quid. I couldn't believe it when this was when I started collecting, and it was one of the earlier things that I brought. I got it for 25 quid. It's worth it.
That's incredible.
The wheels move on it a little bit, but honestly, it's such an amazing thing, isn't it? What do you rate this out of 10?
I give it an 8 because, like how we just talked about, where this is the beginning of the end, this is also where they started doing like, oh, we'll repackage it with chrome and give you Batman and Robin again.
That is true. Yeah, that is very, very true. And you get a chrome back signal in that as well.
Yeah, now we'll do one with the bat signal and bat signal with Batman and Robin. So it's like when they started repackaging a lot.
Yeah, I do feel like they made it a wee bit.
I don't know. I feel harsh.
I think they made it a little bit too big as well. I don't know.
Oh yeah, you say that a lot. You're one of the few people that always champions that they made it a little bit too big.
I think they made it a bit too big, but I'm happy to go. I say like an 8.5 or 9, but yeah, I'm purposely going to go out my own way tomorrow to make sure I do a picture of the Batmobile.
That'd be nice.
Sure, try and do that.
People love seeing that thing.
How amazing would it be to do a New Adventures version of that Batmobile? I mean, everyone has been saying this for years, and even the Batman Beyond mobile, we want to see that as well. But the New Adventures one would look so damn good.
I had it as a kid, the Kenner version. I would love it.
Same. It's amazing, isn't it, that Batmobile?
It's because it's kind of different, but it's also very similar. Where it does feel a lot like '89 and stuff, still. So. It's not that drastic, but it looks cool. Yeah. Oh no, it's weird. I would love it. I hope they do it.
It would be amazing for them to make that car and gutty they drop the Joker mobile because it would have been so awesome. Especially
we get a metallic Christmas Joker now though instead.
Oh, so bad.
I love that most people generally hate that idea. They tend to make fun of it.
I can imagine Jim Fletcher going nuts. Oh, it's a great idea. We're going to do this, and everyone's going to love it. And most people hate it.
Even more collectors.
It looks awful. Well, not great.
In terms of guests, we have a returning guest. Probably the guest we've had on the most on this show. Yeah,
this is the fourth time he's been on.
Yes,
apart from myself. Yeah.
We're going to have him on to talk about Batman Animated Series, about the new figures, what he thinks. We're also going to do the next review with him on board because I just think it'll be fun to hear his thoughts on it.
From a customizer's point of view, it's going to be fun to hear what he thinks.
Yes, and then also I'm going to talk to him a little bit about Star Trek and how he's trying to make me go bankrupt buying those figures.
Yeah,
and also because we do have a lot of Star Trek fans that follow us, we want to
absolutely.
We're going to give him a little chance to give his review on the newest Star Trek Picard series and what he thought of that. But it will be fun to have him back on. It's Kevin at Ranky Customs, and he has supplied Scott with some very hard to find figures that he wouldn't be able to get before. And he's been very generous to me and sending me stuff in the past. And he's just a very nice human being, and he's also someone that we get along with very well. So we're excited to have him back on. And we got him for at least 2 hours, he said. At least.
Awesome. Oh, we may need to extend that.
Yeah. We might have to have his kids join as guest stars if we keep them too long.
Time.
But we any last words before we sign off?
Yeah, well, thanks to everyone for listening and everybody for watching on YouTube. Really do appreciate the continued support, and yes, to anyone who's listening for the first time, we've had some great guests in the last few weeks.
Thanks to Scott.
And thanks to Tyler as well, especially the last guest with Let Go and Lego. He's a terrific guest. So,
that was fun.
Yeah, hopefully you'll go and check those out, and hope everyone's staying safe and healthy, and stay indoors and do what we do, which is toy photography. Don't be foolish. No. And if you're bored, just listen to more episodes of us. Yeah. Absolutely. Sorry. I'm also, we got our first 10 today, so I'll put more confetti right here. That's what edited. Yeah. Since we have that power now. So that's cool. First 10 Scarecrow, which is fitting because it's one of the first episodes we probably ever saw. Well, I'd kind of cheated on the New Adventures of Batman and give him an 11, so if we counted him as not the first, because I did cheat on him. But he's also Batman, so you kind of expect that to be high. It's true. But yeah, Scarecrow got a 10. He's awesome. That's incredible. All right, well, we'll have the new ones for you coming up. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. And thanks for giving us your feedback. Like, now we know to say the dates on things before we talk about the pictures. So the listeners we need that. We're not knowing all, and we're doing this as rookies, really. So thanks for your feedback. Thanks for enjoying, and we'll be back very soon. DC Figures and Collectibles.